In this episode of PulsePoint, we'll update you on these topics. The United Methodist Church loses 1 million members in a single day. Thousands of churches leave the denomination in the US. Disney's woke activism doubles down on the new Star Wars series. Cancer misdiagnosis could have resulted in euthanasia. The Canadian Cancer Society apologizes for using the biological accurate term cervix. Finally, crucial topics and key international speakers at the upcoming Forum on the Family. Welcome to PulsePoint, the latest media stories and research related to family and society that you need to know about. It's time to cut through the spin and uncover the real issues. I'm Tambi Stowers. The United Methodist Church, UMC, is facing a mass exodus following its decision to allow the ordination of LGBT clergy and the blessing of same-sex unions. More than 1 million members from the Ivory Coast Conference in West Africa voted to leave, citing the UMC's departure from the Holy Scriptures and compromising its integrity to instead promote the LGBTQ community. The UMC's recent lifting of a nearly 40-year ban on ordaining gay clergy, approved by a significant majority vote, has been controversial. This change has led to the departure of numerous U.S. congregations, with more than 7,500 churches living in the last 5 years, along with African, Eastern Europe, and Central Asia branches. Progressive congregations have been pushing for greater LGBTQ inclusion, causing further division. Embracing and even promoting LGBTQ in its practices has seen similar exit trends in other Protestant denominations such as the Anglican Church, including the New Zealand branch, in response to a shift away from biblical teachings on sexuality and marriage. Last year, Disney's CEO Bob Iger publicly pledged to make Disney less woke. This is because 3 years ago, Disney launched its new Pride apparel and accessory collection targeted once again at our children. Now last year, a TikTok clip of a man in a dress welcoming small children into a pippity-poppity boutique Disneyland full of princess costume went viral on social media. And now some of the classics are being pulled off their platform.
At the same time, Disney has thrown their beloved films under the bus, pulling classic films like Dumbo, Peter Pan, The Aristocats, and Swiss Family Robinson, so that children could not view them from their accounts, and labeling them as offensive. Tinkerbell and Captain Hook, even the Muppets, were called potentially problematic by Disney, as they slapped warning labels on scores of classic films and TV shows.
But in the latest example, the new Disney Star Wars show, The Acolyte, has been promoted as the gayest Star Wars show yet. Here is a recent interview featuring Leslie Headland, the creator of the new Disney Star Wars show.
I want to ask you both because this is, I would say, arguably the gayest Star Wars, I think, by a considerable margin. And are you excited about that? Are you bracing yourself?
Not the gayest Star Wars. Not the...
It's pretty gay, let's be honest. Leslie, how do you feel?
Am I gay? Yes.
Well, no, I know you are gay, but I'm asking, are you excited about putting this, this is going to be a talking point.
Is it going to be a talking point?
I'm sure some.
Because nerds are gay.
Well, some nerds are very not gay and are very threatened by.
Earlier this year, Headland openly admitted to the goal behind the show in an interview. Surprisingly, it involves the child favorite Frozen.
I saw Frozen as a grown-ass woman. I cried through the entire movie. There was just something about the relationship between the sisters, the like de-villainization of the classic kind of fairy tale bad guy, the concept of true love being between two sisters and not a heterosexual relationship. Like it just destroyed me completely. And I thought, gosh, I would love to make something like this that is, for lack of a better term, Disney, meaning it's something that like my parents would have allowed me to see when I was younger as a queer person.
Gotcha.
But I would have been able to understand as a queer person. And I think
One reviewer said The Acolyte. Main character has two mothers. Main Jedi characters are all black and Asian, no white men. In the first episode, the only speaking role for a white character was for prisoners. In episode 3, they plan to throw away all Star Wars canon and also start using pronouns. One reviewer who has seen the episode said it will destroy all remaining affection the fans had for Star Wars. More recently, there was Tales of the Empire. This one is apparently geared towards kids, and some critics argue it features a non-binary Jedi based on how all characters use they/them pronouns to refer to his corpse. And the long-awaited sequel to Disney and Pixar's Inside Out is due out soon, and it's looking like a little gay. And that's not according to us, but according to the media commentators at the Yahoo News UK. There has been a backlash on Disney's wokeness, and it has suffered a loss of 4 million subscribers in 1 year and a fall in share prices. But it's not just Disney. Its programs generally targeted at child audiences, including even Sesame Street, celebrating gender diversity and sexuality for very young children. The bottom line, sadly, treat the latest Disney and other new children programs as potentially hostile. Check them first, don't hope for the best. A Christchurch woman began preparing for the end of her life after being mistakenly diagnosed with cancer due to a file mix-up. Incorrect images were loaded into the woman's file. She accessed her records through Patient Portal, which indicated she had multiple masses on her liver, primarily caused by issues with her pancreas. She said, "I went to the doctor and she sat me down and said, unfortunately, it's more likely you have cancer." Now, over the next 6 days, Shields lived with the belief that she had terminal illness.
I was planning my funeral. I was looking at assisted dying. I'd rung my landlord to try and get my youngest onto my lease. I'd thrown away a lot of stuff. I'd looked into age progression apps because I really wanted to see what my grandkids would look like. I had an unnecessary blood test. I was very lucky I didn't get opened up unnecessarily. I'm just angry right now.
But everything changed with an unexpected phone call from her doctor, who told her she had been given another person's results. You will note that the media report failed to highlight a real concern with our current euthanasia laws, as we pointed out at the time of the debate. What if the diagnosis, the illness, or the prognosis, the time to live, is wrong? There are no safeguards that could have prevented her obtaining assisted suicide if they hadn't realized the error of the diagnosis. Now, the media failed to make the connection, but this scenario simply confirms what we already know. It was one of the arguments used to do away with the death penalty. What if we get one wrong? Euthanasia is not safe, and this is not a one-off case, as supporters of euthanasia will argue. A diverse range of research into this issue over the past several decades suggests that the diagnosis is wrong 10 to 15% of the time. A 2012 paper published in British Medical Journal noted that 28% of autopsies report at least one misdiagnosis. To understand more about this issue, go to our website, protect.org.nz. Continuing with the health theme, the Canadian Cancer Society is apologizing for referring to the cervix by its technical name rather than slang such as front hole. Now, the agency also conceded that men can have these body parts too. Trans, non-binary, and gender-diverse people face significant barriers to accessing health care and are less likely than cisgender people to be screened for cancer, wrote the Canadian Cancer Society in a page on cervical cancer screening for LGBTQ people. In a Words Matter section on the organization's official website, the Canadian Cancer Society atoned for the fact that some non-binary and transgender people might find the term cervix offensive and prefer to use slang terms instead. We recognize the limitations of the words we've used while also acknowledging the need for simplicity, the Canadian Cancer Society wrote. It's disturbing when a medical group cannot use a biologically correct term. And finally, the Forum on the Family is only 1 month away. The theme this year is Protecting the Next Generation. And once again, there is an amazing lineup of international and local speakers, including detransitioner Chloe Cole, abortion survivor Melissa Oden, and author of The Anxious Generation, Jonathan Haidt, who will be interviewed via Zoom.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Haidt, author of the new book, The Anxious Generation, How the Great Rewiring of Childhood is Causing an Epidemic of Mental Illness. And I'm looking forward to speaking to you by Zoom at the upcoming Forum on the Family in Auckland, New Zealand.
I went through the process of going through a social and medical gender transition between the ages of 12 to 16. I started medically transitioning at 13 with puberty blockers, testosterone, and at 15, I underwent a radical double mastectomy to remove my breasts. I stopped transitioning at 16 when I realized that I wanted to be a woman, that I was very feminine, and that I wanted to become a mother and have children of my own. And these treatments were potentially taking all of that away from me. And since then, at the age of 17, I've been speaking out about what happened to me. I've connected with many other people who have detransitioned as well. And I've testified in many legislatures across the United States, and even to Congress on my 19th birthday. And I'm looking forward to coming to New Zealand in July and seeing you all there.
Last year was an absolute sellout, so go to forumonthefamily.nz to register and for more information. And that's the latest episode of PulsePoint. You can check out all these stories and more on our website, familyfirst.nz. We'll keep watching the news so that you don't have to. We'll see you next time.